Hi Chakits, I have been following you and watching your YouTube channel for years.
I have decided to finally relocate to Las Vegas and want to start a new chapter in my life. I know you're the perfect realtor to help guide me to find my next dream home. I am looking for a modern kitchen, large backyard with a pool and a golf course community.
My name is Chakits Krulsawat with Simply Vegas, a licensed real estate agent out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I help buyers like this all the time, so if you're looking for a licensed professional, give us a call at 702-319-1092 or visit lvhomeexperts.com. Buying a home starts here. Is your credit score holding you back from purchasing a home? GC Credit Coaches is a repair company that's made easy. Their goal is to challenge and remove all negative errors that hurt your credit score. On average, GC clients see about 10.2 negative items removed over 4 months. Start improving your credit score today with a simple 2-minute online enrollment for a free consultation and a complete credit audit. GC Credit Coaches offers competitive monthly pricing, no contracts, no hidden fees, and the service stops once you are satisfied. GC Credit Coaches removes inquiries, collections, charge-off bankruptcies, and repossessions. Don't forget to visit gccreditcoaches.com. And welcome live to the LV Home Experts podcast. This is where we talk about real estate and financing. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to take some Q&A, right? Any questions you guys have regarding the real estate market. Today I have a very special guest, John Nelson, agent out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. He hangs his license with Simply Vegas. He's been doing this now for years. And you guys know how I like to bring on agents onto the show, get a different perspective of what's going on in the housing market. So I'm going to jump right into it. How's things going with you, John?
Things are going good. 2023, well, actually the end of...
John, you got to talk right into the mic there. There you go.
Is that better?
Oh, there you go.
All
now
right.
I can hear you.
So 2022 at the end of it, we sort of thought that the market in 2023 was going to be super slow, and we were bracing for the worst, but 2023 came along and it's turning out a lot better than we thought.
Really?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy that the end of 22 kind of slowed down a little bit. Kind of scared me a little bit, but the amazing thing is that, I don't know, this month alone we had a total of 9 or 10 approvals, and we're taking out a bunch of buyers and grabbing a lot of listings. I have no clue what the hell's going on with this market. It's just, you have two sides of this. You have sellers, right, that are selling their homes, but there's not enough, inventory still. I mean, 5,000 homes is not that much homes, believe it or not. A lot of people think that's a lot of homes. But I think the issue here is that you have a lot of people out here in Vegas that are living in homes that have a lower interest rate, right? Let's say 3.25%, and they're not selling because if they decide to sell because they have all this equity, where are they going to move to? Mm-hmm. And they're going to get the exact same home, right? But for more of a price, right? It doesn't make sense. So there's kind of like a gridlock. There's a catch-22, and buyers are kind of holding off a little bit, but they're being a little bit picky and choosy, which is I understand, but there's still not enough inventory. I mean, 5,000 homes is not that many homes to really be, looking at. I remember, 6 months ago, I mean, damn, we had less than 2,500 homes. It was feast or famine. You had to submit offers way over the asking price, waive the appraisal, waive the inspections. But the tides have turned. But I just feel right now it's just kind of sellers are waiting, buyers are waiting. I mean, that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm feeling.
So you said a lot of homes. I mean, 5,000. If any agent out there thinks that 5,000 homes are a lot, they haven't been in the business, right? So in 2000, I started real estate in 2006, and I remember when there was 24,000 homes on the market, and man, it was you had the buyers somewhat, but then that was a totally different market than what it is now. So 5,000 homes, no, it's nothing, and you got these people that are looking at, like you said, they have a 3.5% interest rate. I talked to a lady today with a 2.25% VA interest rate, and she's like, "Where am I going to go, John?" She goes,
"Nowhere."
Exactly. She goes, "If I sell my home, then I'm going to get into what, a 6.5% interest rate?" She goes, "Yeah, I have a ton of equity.
Yeah.
I paid almost cash for the house, but our payment, PITI, for this huge house in Inspirata is only like $1,200 a month."
Yeah, and it's like you can't even rent an apartment for $1,200 a month. I got a 1-bedroom right now,
Right.
up in Seven Hills. 1 bedroom, $1,600 a month.
Yeah.
$1,600 a month.
And they're probably happy to have
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Matter of fact, I have multiple applications, but I decided I'm not going to rent out the property. I have a client that wants to buy the property, so I'm just gonna end up selling the property just to reposition. But it's funny, I literally got a call yesterday wanting to lease out the property. I said no. I told him the circumstances, and today I got another one of my agents, our clients, wants to rent it out. But I'm like, dude, I don't think so.
Right.
But it had me start thinking maybe I should rent this thing out, right, for cash flow. But again, everybody's financial situation is completely different. So I'm repositioning, but that's nor here or there. I just want you guys to understand what's going on with the marketplace here. What are you seeing in the marketplace like right now as an agent?
So as an agent, I do everything that I sell. So if I'm selling it, I believe in it 100%.
Really?
Like I don't do.
You're not a car sales guy.
No, not at all. So I told my wife, I was like, you know what? If we're going to sell, because this is what we're doing right now, we're selling. If we're going to sell renting your home and buying another one because you have so much equity and your payment's so low here, you can cash flow. Why don't we do that?
Mm-hmm.
And we're in our forever home.
Yeah.
And so my wife's like, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't want to leave I said, well, what if I got you a home, or not got you? What if we got a home that was your next forever home, right?
Yeah.
So we put our house on the market for the rental market, and I put it way more than I thought I was going to get. So we had 3 applications in 1 week.
Oh, wow.
So at that point, we sat down and had a hard talk about what we were going to do. And we was like, you know what? It didn't make sense for the home that we were looking at. It was we would actually have to stress, and we don't like stress.
Yeah.
So we pulled it off the market, and we were like, we still have that option. But at the end of the day, what do I see? I see a lot of people utilizing their equity for either owner carries or AITDs. And, one good thing about being in the business a long time is how to do those.
Explain what that is
So
for the
an
audience.
all-inclusive trust deed is a property with an underlying note. So you have a mortgage on the property. Let's say make it easy numbers, $100,000. Your payment, payment, interest, taxes, and insurance. Let's say you had a great interest rate. Let's say it's $550 a month.
Okay.
Let's just say $600. Make it easy. All right. I'm going to say, okay, Bill, Jeannie, whatever. I can sell this property for you at your $150,000 price point. We're just using basic numbers here.
Yeah.
And we can get you 20% down, put $20,000 in your pocket or for your next purchase, and I can take that 3% interest rate that you got on the $100,000, and I can get you, let's say, 7% on money that's not even yours.
Yeah.
So now you're making 4% of money that's not even yours, $200, $300, $400 a month, and you're getting money pocketed for your next purchase. So in essence, you're making money on money that's not yours. It makes sense. So that's an all-inclusive trustee. There's also a contract sale, but you can go down the whole line. There's a bunch of different ways to do it, but that's what I see a lot of people doing. And as far as the rental market, I see a lot of people renting out their properties and buying other properties. I have a lot of clients doing that right now too.
Yeah. Hey guys, let me know if there's something wrong with the audio here. Give me a thumbs up if everything's good, or just say yes, the mic is good. Let me know, guys. I appreciate it, because somebody says audio in sync. So I'm not too sure what's going on. Sometimes we have these technical errors, so I do apologize. I have a question from Diane Lopez. She says, can you find house for $280,000? My daughter has excellent credit and is trying to buy a home. can you give me your number? Yeah, John, what's your telephone number? Let's give a quick shout out real quick.
Okay, 702-355-3248. And is this for an AITD or?
Okay. Well, no, this is just a question that somebody asked. So basically, Diana Lopez, she has a daughter that wants to purchase a home around $280,000. She had asked.
Okay.
You know, she has good credit. Daughter has good credit, and she's like, "Can you give me your number?" So you want to shout out that number again one more time?
702-355-3248.
And make sure I get a commission split on that too as well. So I appreciate that. See how I hook you up? The power of social media. So are there homes at $280,000? I mean, that seems pretty low, right, for a single family residence?
There's homes right now as low. I mean, there's homes a lot lower than that right now.
Oh, really?
Depends on the area you want to live in.
Okay.
So everybody has different criteria in different areas, and yeah, you want to be in a different area, yeah.
I mean,
depends on where you want to be.
Okay, so let's talk about credit here.
Okay.
What type of credit do you need in order to purchase a home, and kind of explain how all that works, how important this is?
It depends. I mean, like if you're a veteran, I mean, it's not credit driven as far as the credit score. And full disclaimer, guys, I'm not a loan officer. I am a realtor, but I do know a lot about loans. I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
You know, then you go FHA. You got 580 and up. Obviously, the higher your credit score, the better the interest rates you're going to get. And then you have conventional, which starts, you know, around 640.
Okay. So what's going on right now is it looks like we're having the audio. It's not in sync, and the reason why is probably because of the internet. So we do apologize, guys. So, I mean, it is what it is sometimes. Now, going back to credit score, you mentioned that VA, right, doesn't really have a credit score?
It's not credit driven,
okay,
but they do like to see around 580. I mean, we've gotten people financed with less, but you know, obviously your interest rate's going to vary the lower your credit score is. So I tell everybody, let's do a 6 month before you buy a home. Let's look at it 6 months before, so that way we know exactly what we're going to do.
Okay. Also, if you guys actually want to call live in the studio with your question, we haven't done this for a while, but if you guys want to call in live. 702-409-4495. Again, that's 702-409-4495. Or go ahead and ask your questions in the comments. As far as like submitting offers right now, is it hard to get an offer accepted? Because it seems like everybody thinks the market has tanked or going to tank, and they want to wait. I mean, what kind of deals can you get out there? Can you even get a deal?
So with my team, I'm telling them, you guys, we have to get these people into escrow, because I feel by this summer, I think it's going to be more of a seller's market. Mm-hmm. But right now, it's super easy for the most part. If you go on the lower end stuff, and when I say lower end, I'm saying, sub 300. I just tried buying a property the other day, and I got beat out, and there was multiple offers on the property, and I was in full communication with the agent, but I got beat out on that property. So is there people buying still? 100%. Are people getting closing costs right now for rate buy downs and all that good stuff? 100%. Is that going to go away in the next 4 months? I think so. And I think in the next 4 months, maybe 6 months, but I think in the next 4 months for sure, it's going to shift to more of a seller's market. And if agents out there don't see that coming, like I said, they're not in real estate. They have a real estate license. There's a big difference.
So this is for Dan Lopez. The agent's name is John Nelson. And the number again, John?
702-355-3248. And if you could, just shoot me a text.
There you go. See the power of social media?
I do. It's actually amazing. It really is.
Guys, I really do appreciate the love and the support. So quick shout out to all the people out there. So somebody says, is it better to buy a brand new home, or actually is it better to build? And what's your thoughts between building a brand new home versus just buying a resale? Like, what are the pros and cons?
So right now, like again, I go back to my team. I have a team, guys. So I always reference the team.
Yeah.
But with the team, man, they're selling a ton of new builds because there's so many opportunities right now with new builds, everybody. And again, those are the first things that go away.
Yeah.
So you got all these opportunities and all these programs and all this money they're throwing at you to buy this house. In the next 3 or 4 months, 5 months, I believe most of those are going to go away. One builder I was talking to the other day told me they are already going to be pulling those away in February or March. They're not sure as far as the closing cost contribution. But as far as the resales, I mean, you can get some phenomenal deals on resales right now. And, you can get some sweat equity and, basically do what the flippers do, but do it yourself for your primary residence, all the while getting the exact home that you want, maybe in the exact area, because sometimes the new builds aren't going to be in the areas that you want, because you got to remember they're building out, and a lot of the resales are more toward the center of town. So a lot of people don't want to live, in an Inspirata or in a wherever, Northwest Sky Canyon. They don't want to live there. They want to live, let's say Sunset or Green Valley Parkway and Windmill.
Now, you mentioned sweat equity. What does that mean, the sweat equity part?
So sweat equity is when you buy a home that may be the least expensive home in a neighborhood. So you have other homes that are totally fixed up and just beautiful homes and just all done that are, let's say, $400. And then you see your home, same layout, same square footage, and you're looking at a home, let's say it's $325. So then you go through it with your contractor or whoever you use, or even if you do it yourself. What's it going to cost me to get it to where that $400,000 house is? So let's say it's $35,000. So now you're at $325, $330. So you're $360,000, and the comps in the area are $400. So now you have equity in the home.
Yeah,
that's sweat equity.
And we talked about getting, like some closing costs and additional fees, right, on some of these deals.
So on the resales, especially if the houses are fixed up right now, they're still, for the most part, they're still moving. So if you have a house that has all the new flooring, new paint, countertops, everything's done the way everybody wants it done now, it's going to sell for the most part. I talked to one guy the other day, house went on the market like this, and his client, they went over and looked at it as like day 2 or day 3. They already had 6 offers. So like I said, if people are saying the housing market is slow, they're not in real estate. Now, if you have and as far as the closing cost contribution, if you're looking at a property that needs a lot of work, that is going to be that sweat equity, get the closing cost contribution of, 3, 6, 9, however many $1,000s you're going to get on the property that needs work. Take that money that you were going to use for your closing cost and put it into the home that needs the work, to where that way you can get the home the way you want, and you got your equity and you got them to pay for it.
So Terrence asks, is single family versus multifamily, like 4 units?
Okay.
Which is a better deal for investors in today's market?
Well, I mean, if it's a 4-unit fourplex, I mean, you're going to be able to live in one of the units per guidelines. So you can buy that as your primary residence, and you can get that cash flow coming in. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I mean, what's a better investment? It depends on the person. Like, is your family, if you're a single person, you're going to be okay with living there. But if you have a family with kids and a wife, and is she going to be okay living in a fourplex? That's the question.
So I think what it really comes down to is, what your goals are, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you trying to get into the investment game? And if you are, like, where do you start, right? And you have to take a look at, your financial situation. If you're just like some single guy, right, and you're just getting into the game, I would probably go into a 4-unit, and I've done this for multiple young guys, right, because I'm getting older now. I don't want to say my age, which is very disappointing, but it is what it is.
28, isn't it?
Thank you. You know what? I like you. So I remember this one kid came to me, right? He was making some pretty good money, and he wanted to get into the investment game, and he was so hyper-focused on single-family residence. So I said, look, man, that's great, but why don't we utilize your VA loan, okay? So that way we get the lowest rate as possible. There's no interest, right? Mortgage insurance premium. So we got rid of that. And I said, look, you can buy this 4-unit, you live in one, have 3, pay for the rest. And here's why it's better for you. Because when it comes to traditional financing, if you went out and you went to go get a loan because you're building a real estate portfolio, typically banks, your cap is about 10. So imagine this, if you got 10 fourplexes, right, that's 40 units. If you got 10 single-family residents, that's only 10 doors. So the light bulb starts going off. I said, look, this is how we're going to play this game. You're going to buy it, you're going to live in one, you're going to season it, then you can move out, then we'll utilize a different type of loan. So now he moves out, he's making cash flow, and he realizes he has to get transferred to a different state because he's got a better job offer. So what does he do? He keeps this property, rents it out. He's making like $2,200 a month, just something crazy.
Right.
Because he bought this at like $180,000, right? He moves out of state. He goes out and he buys another fourplex with the VA loan. Does the same thing. VA guideline says that, look, you can utilize another VA loan if you can justify why you're using it. And then you have to be at a certain distance too as well. He went out and he got another one. Dude's got like 12 doors and he's just cash flowing like crazy. And his ROI is like almost infinity.
Yeah.
And basically he still calls me till this day and says, man, I appreciate you. Yeah. But again, it really depends on the circumstance, right? Like if you had kids, it probably wouldn't make any sense, right? Because you're trying to raise a family, right. You're trying to be at a certain spot. So then at that point, if you're going to buy a single family residence, then you have to strategically, buy in the right location because you're going to be living in the home for some time because you have a family and you probably want a good school zone, I take it. Then obviously you're going to have to pay the top dollar, but now you're not buying based upon cash flow. Now you're just buying based upon speculation and location, right? So these are things that you guys should be thinking about. So somebody says here, is it better to buy or build a home? Okay, we already went through that one. Hey guys, what is the inventory like in McDonald Highlands? John, you want to answer that question?
Yeah, the inventory up there it's fair. It's still selling. It's not selling like it was, but it is still selling. I have 2 clients in there looking right now. The options are open a little bit more than they were, like let's say a year ago, because they were non-existent a year ago at this time. But yeah, no, there's definitely more inventory up there, so there's more choices, which means better pricing and better options as far as closing costs.
Now, what I know about McDonald Highlands, right, it just depends where you live. I would say on the lower level, the homes are a little bit outdated. But the higher you go up on the hill, they're starting to move into more desert, modern, contemporary homes, which is I definitely like. I love the guard-gated community. I love the clubhouse. I love the golf course. And some of these views are spectacular, right? Our ocean view is basically the Las Vegas Valley, right? It's beautiful. But some of these lots are going for $1 million, which is kind of baffling to me. Yeah. And it just seems like a lot of people that have money, they're starting to make their way out here to Las Vegas. Because if you compare, our luxury market versus like California or New York, they look at our market and they're like, wait, I can get this type of design of a home for a third of what I'd be buying here. And that's why I see that my real estate transactions, about 35% of them are all from California, which is amazing to me. Now, here's another question from Jordan. It says, my husband's best friend works on Wall Street. They're preparing for a 9 to a 10% rate before it ends this year. So no rate reductions this year, maybe 2025. Now, basically what she's saying that she feels that the feds are going to raise rates and rates will go up to 9 to 10%. Now, what are your thoughts about that when somebody on the other side is thinking about buying a home, but they are afraid that rates will go to 9 and 10%? What do you say to somebody like that?
So we don't have a crystal ball. Right. If we did, in 2007, when I had about 7 or 8 deals in escrow and they all fell apart in February when all the magical financing went away, nobody knew that was coming and it just hit and, it was horrible. But now 9 or 10%, I personally don't see that. I don't think, I'm not a political guy. I don't watch the news or anything like that. I don't care about any of that. But I don't see them raising the rates and destroying the market in an election year. So a lot of people are forgetting about that, right?
Well, it's midterms, right?
Yeah. But no, I mean, next year,
Yeah.
Biden's going to be, I don't know if he's running again. Like I said, I don't really follow any of that, but I would imagine the current party that's is going to want somebody in that party to get in again. So, and I don't see the interest rates going to 10%. Could they? Yeah. But what I actually see them doing is falling. And I think they're going to hold steady for most of this year. They may go up a little bit. Who knows? I'm not sure. But I see next year, and I'm telling my team this, I'm telling my clients this, I'm like, get into a property now, because at the end of the day, with the low prices and the benefit that you're getting from the purchase, next year, our lender that we use, and I'm sure you have the same thing, will refi you at a no cost when it does go down, because I see it going down to the mid to low fives next year. That's what I see. I don't see it going up to 9 or 10%. I don't.
Now, if it does go up to 9 or 10%, which is, I think it will, and that's just my personal opinion, and we don't need to get into that because I always talk about this, but that's just my opinion because, I like to watch, economics at a macro and a micro level. I'm more of a geek when it comes to kind of stuff like that. I don't know why, it's just who I am, but that's just what I like.
Right.
Anyway, I'm a gold bug too, for some of you guys don't know. But, Hold
on. When you say gold bug, you buy gold.
Yeah, I'm a gold bug.
Okay, it's like Mr. T?
Yeah, all the gold chains.
No, I see the chain right there.
Yeah. So if it does go to 9 or 10%, think about this. Home pricing will drop, but then your mortgage will be high. But it doesn't matter, because what I realized during the last crash, when we had 18,000 homes, I was telling people to buy, and these homes are like 70, 80,000, and they weren't buying, which was crazy because it's all psychological, right? Yep. People only buy when it goes up. But I think I want you guys to understand is that if it drops by 100,000 and it goes from like 5 to 10%, you're still paying for the same amount. Your mortgage doesn't change. You would have to wait until the market tanks. Right. So what you're saying is the same thing, but opposite. But you just still play the game. You just always refinance. And I think that's what people need to understand. Real estate is just a game. Right. You constantly got to watch the market. You got to see what's going on, and you got to pivot. So when I first got my first property, it was at 5.2%, right? Actually, matter of fact, it was probably like 5.8%. Okay. And this is when I had no clue about real estate. I thought I knew what I was doing. I was just getting into the game. And I was like, I want to buy down points. This is where I fucked up. So I buy down points. I spent about $4,000. My wife's bought a property before. She's like, dude, don't buy down. You're wasting our money. I said, look, man, let me
smart woman.
Let me get this. I know what I'm doing. Let me buy down. I'm the real estate investor. But here's the thing. I've been reading a lot of books and all that stuff. I'm literally just getting into the game. This is my first transaction. So we close out on the deal. I spent like $4,000, maybe $6,000 to do a buy down from like 5.8 down to like 5.2 or maybe 4.9. I think that's what it was. And I thought I was the man. I was like, yo, I got an interest rate 4.9, which was a great interest rate at that time. So the feds make the adjustments probably like 8 months later. This fucking thing drops down to like 3.2. She's like, bro, I told you. Yeah. You wasted our money. I was like, damn, right. So I refinanced it from an FHA to a conventional loan at 3.25. My payments went from $1,600 a month down to $938 a month. Wow. I still have this home till today. I've got a lot of equity, but I'm not moving. I'm one of those statistics where home's worth about $500,000, probably $150,000 left. You know, I could collect that capital gains, but the question is, where do I go? I'm kind of in that limbo, right? So I guess what I'm trying to say here is that real estate is a game. You got to play the game. You got to understand what's going on. If I knew what I knew today, I would not be doing what I've done. Right. And I think that's important that we share this with people because you can always pivot, right, to profit. And that's just the way the game is, okay? Let's see what other questions here. Even though interest rates go down, how can you guarantee a refinance if there's no equity in the home? That's a good question. You want to answer that question?
So, I mean, at the end of the day, if your home's worth $200,000 and you owe $400,000, as far as I know, you can't refinance.
Yeah.
So
good point.
Unless there's somebody, but here's the thing. The question I always ask everybody, and I have people that come into my office, they come into the office knowing that they're not going to buy a house, right? And they've told me this. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But at least if I can get you into my office and go over the numbers with you, because I'm a numbers guy.
Yeah.
I go over those numbers. And if I go over those numbers and show you that your $1,800 a month rent payment is making you nothing, when at the end of the day, if I can get you into a home, let's say let's say it's a little bit more, $2,000 a month, right? And over the course of the next 15 years, if you stayed in it, granted, you're rare. I've been in my house now for almost 10 years. I'm rare. But if you do stay in this home, you're going to make money. Traditionally, what is it, 4% a year?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the average.
Yeah.
So if you make 4% per year, you're not making that on a rental.
According to statistics, it's average about 3 to 4%. Yes, you're correct.
So when it goes, let's say when it goes up 20% in a year, you expect a market correction. So over the past from 20 to 22, what do we make? 50% on our properties? I mean, it really went up. So when people say, oh, it went down 20%, well, no, it actually went up 30%.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've lived in the home long enough. So no matter what, if you're renting, guys, it doesn't make sense to rent. There's always a better way. And if you sit down with a professional real estate agent, no matter who it is, and they explain it properly, a light bulb will go off. You made a light bulb go off on me.
I think what you need to do is do the math, right? What you're saying is if you're doing $1,800 a month, if you take a look at that, that's over $18,000. It's $20,000, right? If you're comfortable paying that, then you gotta live somewhere. So what you're saying is find out what you can buy for $1,800, right? So once you get it with the lender, you can see what your purchasing power is, see if that actually makes sense. And if it makes sense, because now you can get the home you want, and you know you're gonna live there 10, 15 years, then that could be a possibility. Not only that, you also have to think about tax deductions too as well. So you're always going to get a savings at that part. So all I'm saying is just do the math, but I want to be right back after these commercials.
Does your house look like and have you been considering remodeling your home for some time now? Well, if you love real estate like I do and appreciate the attention to detail in the craftsmanship required to build a remodel or a gorgeous home, then I got the perfect company for you. Guys, I highly recommend Design Zone Remodeling. They are a stellar company that will turn your outdated home into your own personal sanctuary. They specialize in bathroom remodels, kitchen remodels, and full house remodels. Design Zone Remodeling has a reputation for excellent workmanship, competitive fees, and being able to offer a wide range of services and deliver the outstanding results to their clients. I use Design Zone Remodeling on my personal properties. Give Design Zone Remodeling a call today at 725-223-0871 or visit their website at designzoneremodeling.com to request a free consultation today.
Attention contractors, remodelers, and homeowners. Is your renovation becoming a pain in the glass? Here at Glass Vegas, we take care of all of your glass needs. From a broken window to custom shower doors, mirrors, wine enclosures, storefronts, railings, and much more. We can even help you with new or replacement thermally broken windows. We're a full-service, woman-owned glass company that provides unparalleled workmanship, excellent communication, and great customer service. Glass Vegas. We do glass with class.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the LV Home Experts Podcast. This is where we talk about real estate and financing and what's going on with the Las Vegas market every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you guys are just tuning in, my name is Chakits Krulsawat with Simply Vegas, licensed real estate agent out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I have my special guest, John Nelson. We're just talking about what's going on with the Las Vegas market. If you guys have any questions, you guys want to call into the show, 702-409-4495. So we're just going to jump right back to it. So, where were we here? I lost my train of thought.
Well, we were talking about basically motivation. I mean, I talked to you a while back, and you know, I've been in business for a long time, done a lot of deals, sold a lot of houses, blah, 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 blah. So walking through the hallways, I'm telling you about my son. he's 20 years old, getting ready to buy his first home. And I said, hey, my kid's getting ready to buy his first home. I'm real excited. I'm told him to do minimum 3-bedroom. And you sparked something in my brain. He goes, why doesn't he do a 4-plex? And I'm like, duh, I should have thought about this. But, when you get so wrapped up in your own life, sometimes it's your family, you don't really think about things like that unless it's a client, investing. So I'm trying to get him to buy a 4-plex. I'm hoping he does because he's in the Navy, so he's going to be able to use that VA benefit.
He'll kill it. He'll crush it.
Huge.
So I got a question from Antonio. He goes, lots are getting outrageous on the price. In your opinion, what would be a good price for an acre lot in the Rancho area? So let's talk about the acres real quick, or an acre. Last time I looked, it was like 300,000 an acre. It's probably like 500 now. I haven't checked, so I don't really know the data on it. What would you actually pay for a lot, an acre size?
You're asking what I would pay, because I know I'm going to be a little bit different than most. But what I would pay, I personally wouldn't buy the lot. I would buy a property with the lot, so that way I could actually finance the lot instead of having to pay cash or a lot more down. So when you buy a lot, just a pure lot of dirt, you're probably going to only do, unless something's changed, 50% down.
Yeah.
Am I off on that?
No, you're not. And the reason why is because a lot of lenders, and it's a whole different type of loan, a lot of people don't want to touch it because it's a liability, right? It's different when you have a house on it, you have insurance, somebody's living in the property. When you live in the property, you're tending to make the payments, right?
Right.
And not only that, now that tells you if you do that, now you're going to have to get a construction loan. So the next question is, can you actually get all that? And when you purchase a lot, people think, hey, I can just buy a piece of dirt and just build a home. There's so much variables. Number one, you got to slate that land, right? You got to do an environment impact study on it. You have to do a soil report on it. You got to find out where all the utility lines are. So you may be getting a good deal, but if your utility lines are 50 feet, they got to trench it. How much is that going to cost you? So you think that you're getting a good deal, but you may not be getting a good deal. In addition to that, you have to find out what the lot is permitted for. What can you build? Because there's certain square footage of a lot of what you can build, and based upon your plan, you need to get an architect out there. So there's so many variables that people are not aware of, and they find out the cost to build a home with everything included. It's far more than going to a regular developer that has a tract home that they are building.
100%.
So I'm not saying that you can't do it, but if you contract everything on your own, which is you could do that, you really need some money. It's not cheap. I mean, I looked into the costs, and I was trying to do everything myself. I'm like, dude, it doesn't make any sense. And also, I have a partner that we may be going in together to build a custom home to sell. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, whoa, I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. I'm starting to, I don't know. It's kind of iffy because there's so many things that can go wrong. And I have friends that, they hire contractors to build, and basically they weren't licensed. They ran into some issues. There was no insurance, and they ran into some problems, and they went through, liabilities and some legal issues, and home was tied up for like 5 years.
Right.
And basically he finally got some of the money back. It was just a crazy story. Now we did a whole episode on this situation, but these are things that people are just not aware of, right? And if you're going to build a brand new home, you should be contacting me so that way I can help you through the process. But let's see what other questions that we have here. I have been in our house in the Ridges since 2003. Wow. So she's gone through the whole ups and downs in the Ridges. I love the Ridges. What are your thoughts about the Ridges?
Well, I mean, she would be able to answer this better than anybody. How is the question I always have with the Ridges right now is I hear a lot of things about the security there.
Oh, really?
So I hear a lot of different things in there, and she'd be able to answer it better than me. My thoughts on the Ridges, I like the Ridges. I would live there, but I have certain clients that are moving out of there because they're having issues with security, and they're moving into the Summit. So my thoughts on the Ridges, it's a great community. I mean, it's just like anything in Summerlin. I was looking at that house I told you about. We were actually looking at Mesa Ridge right next door. So, it's Summerlin's a great area. I've never lived up there, but I would definitely do it.
Okay. So here's a question. It says, with a VA loan, can I refinance with no equity using the IRRL streamline? I'm going to make the answer very quick. The answer is no. However, I could be wrong. If you guys want to contact me, I will connect you with one of my lenders. If you are a lender watching this show, comment. I'm not a lender. I mean, that's a little bit, there's too many guidelines on that, right? I mean, I sell real estate, so it's very hard to answer that question. Even like general questions I can answer. However, you also should always speak to somebody that specializes in that field. So it's just a disclaimer when it comes to financing, so that way I don't get my ass kicked, okay? Here's another question from Calvin. Calvin says, if a builder says I can get a deposit back from the design center when I want to cancel, and the builder says I can't get anything back else, can I do? Anything else I can do? I don't understand the question.
Say that again.
Maybe I'm just reading this wrong. It says, if a builder says I can get my deposit back from the design center, then I want to cancel, the builder says I can't get anything back anytime or any. Oh shit! Let me read this thing. I'm reading it wrong here. This is fucking hilarious. Now I'm all like getting choked up. If a builder says I can't get my deposit back from the design center, then I want to cancel, and builder says I can't get anything back. Anything I can do.
I think I know what he's trying to say, or she's trying to say. I have yet to see a builder give back money from the design center.
Okay, so a couple things. It really depends on the situation. So it sounds like the question is, look, the builder says if I give you a deposit for the design center, and they say, hey, if you cancel, you can get your money back. Okay, you can't go over what the builder says of the salesperson. You got to look at the contract.
Correct.
Contract states this. Okay, you put down a deposit. You got 3 days to qualify with their lender. You can use any lender you want. But after the 5 days of receiving the HOA resale package, if you want to cancel, it's very hard to cancel. You'll end up losing.
They give that up front as well.
Yes. The reason why they do that is they try to release as much as time as possible to you, so that way you're kind of like forcing you're locked in. Mm-hmm. Now I'm pretty good at getting the EMD back, right? However, when you go to the design studio, you're already so far into the deal, you're fully approved. Depending on the builder, some builders may want 50% of the deposit, 25% of the deposit, or 10% of the total sale, whatever it is, however they negotiate the deal. Once you give them that money, chances of you getting it back is very slim. And the reason why is because all the product already has been ordered. They already spec'd out the home. They've already permitted the home to the way that you want it. So chance of you getting that back is very slim. Now, I have gotten back the deposit before. It's how you communicate. And there are some loopholes in there, right? And also, if you have a problem, I just contact their legal team. That's the key. Don't go to the salesperson. Don't go to the sales manager. Just contact corporate and contact the legal department. So that's just a pro tip for you guys. Now, I don't want to give you all my tips and tricks because then you guys won't be calling me.
Yeah, the main thing, guys, is when you go into a builder, take a good agent with you, not the guy that just got his real estate license, not saying that they're not good agents or they're not going to be good agents. Mm-hmm. Take a seasoned agent with you, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of stuff in that contract that maybe isn't explained the way you could explain it, or I could explain it.
Yeah. So I have another question here from Remy. Remy says, what is your opinion on Sky Canyon versus Providence?
So I love Sky Canyon.
Okay, so let's talk about
two different areas of town.
Yes. Okay, so Sky Canyon and Providence, these are actually two master plan communities. So what do you like better?
So I am a Henderson guy, but I actually, if I had to, me personally, choose between living in either of them, I would probably pick Sky Canyon, because I absolutely love it out there.
Do you really?
I really do. I've never lived out there, but I love it out there.
Okay. So I noticed with Providence, you'll have homes around like the 2000s, right? 90s, 2000s, and Sky Canyon is one of the newer master plan communities out in the Northwest. Sky Canyon has their own clubhouse, which is really nice. They also have like a Starbucks, full gym. I notice a lot of people are like walking their dogs, so it's like one big clubhouse, right? But they have like subs, which is like neighborhoods that are gated. Some may have a pool as well. But if you buy in this master plan community, there is a HOA fee that you will have to pay. And I think it's about like almost $200. Don't quote me on that because I don't remember. But if you utilize those kind of things, I think it's great if you're into like walking your dog. Because every time I go out there, around like 5 o'clock, you have like the family with the dogs, the kids walking. You know, that's the kind of environment. Now, they are still building out there. They're building a lot of homes. They also do have a grocery section that they are building, like I guess like a little shopping center. Okay. But it's in high demand to the point where they need to have more shopping. I feel like there's just not enough shopping out there. Here's the thing. It's been permitted, but they're not done yet. Now, Providence is like right next door. And Providence, believe it or not, they actually have 2 clubhouses. But every time I go there, you don't get like that dazzle like how Sky Canyon is. So Sky Canyon, for me, it's a little bit more newer. However, Providence is closer to the 215.
Right.
So you can jump closer to the 215. So it does have its pros and cons. And it's also right next to Centennial as well. You know, Centennial, you got the Walmart and all that stuff. So it's more conveniently located.
Right.
Because Sky Canyon is more northwest of it. So it's still new. But what I do like about this location in this area is that you get more bang for your buck. Mm-hmm. So if we take a look at like at Summerlin, you're paying, 200 something a square foot versus there you're paying like $190 a square foot. So you get more homes. So I do like that. Now, is this a good place to buy a home in the next 5 to 10 years? Now, I'm not going to say yes or no because you guys are going to probably play back this video and next thing you know, you buy the home and shit hits the fan. And this is like live, right? So if I had to gamble, right, and I typically like to buy in a brand new tract, let's say they're building 150 homes. If you could be like, the first 10, dude, yeah, that's even better. Because every time a builder sells a home, they keep raising the price on the tract. Mm-hmm. So if you bought a home for $450, by the time that tract is done, it's probably like $550,000, believe it or not. Because it always gets appraised higher and higher because people start to add more upgrades. The appraisal comes out, appraises it for more. So the problem with that is if it's 5 to 10 years, you got to ask yourself, are you going to live in the property for 5 to 10 years to weather out this whole storm and wait till they build everything out?
Right.
So that's just my perspective on that. What is your thoughts on that?
I'm going to go a little bit different than you.
Okay.
I feel that anywhere in Vegas is going to be good in the next 5 years. In the next year, maybe not the next 2 years. The next 5 to 10 years, I think you're safe in anywhere in Vegas. If you're renting right now, you're real safe. Yeah. Because you're wasting your money.
Now, why do you think that?
Well, obviously we have the Raiders. Okay? Yeah. Baseball. Mm-hmm. Baseball coming here.
Okay.
You have the big globe they're building. I mean, there's so much stuff. They're projecting this year as far as the strip and tourism to beat last year, which is a record-setting year. Yeah. And they're projecting it to keep going. So, it's a desired place to be. So a lot of people that love coming here are going to want to move here. You said California earlier. We have New York. We have a lot of the high-tax areas where they're selling we had one of our agents had a guy that did a 1031 exchange and took his money from New York. Okay. So instead of cashing that out and paying their taxes and the capital gains and everything, he brought it to Nevada to where now he's going to be making money on that. And it's going to be, a lot less tax.
Well, what is a 1031 exchange and how does that work? And how does that benefit a consumer that's looking to do that?
So when you do a 1031 exchange, you're pulling money from a property, a investment property, and you're taking it to another investment property. So this particular person lived in a high tax area. So at the end of the day, he pulled his money from that high tax area and brought it to Nevada, which is a tax friendly area, like a lot of our friends from California moving out here, and taking his money and he's able to use that without paying taxes on that money, capital gains.
Wow.
It's huge.
So you don't have to pay taxes on that. That's interesting. Are you seeing a lot of people doing that?
I'm not seeing a lot, some.
Yeah.
It's a lot more, just like on building home, it's a lot more seasoned people in real estate.
Yeah.
So if you're going to build a home, you sort of got to know what you're doing. Same thing with the 1031 exchange. A lot of people sell homes wherever they're at in the country, and they just use the money for whatever, especially if it's a inherited or something like that.
Now, it's not always a good idea to use a 1031 exchange. Just really depending on how much you're going to make off the deal and what your tax bracket is. Because to do a 1031 exchange, it's typically around like $2,000. Could be $3,000, but typically it's about $2,000. If you look at the equity that you're going to make off the property and you are in a low tax bracket, you may be paying less that way than to do a 1031 exchange. So that's something that you guys need to identify immediately before doing a 1031 exchange. Matter of fact, I am considering to do a 1031 exchange because apparently I'm a high income earner. I don't know why they say that, but I got to pay taxes, which is I don't want to pay taxes. So if anybody has a good CPA, please let me know. I'm about to get cracked. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. So I got a property that I'm selling. It's under contract. I'll probably make maybe about $100 off of this one.
Okay.
And thinking about buying a 7-unit building.
Where?
It's going to be, what do you call, Naked City?
Okay.
Right back to Stratosphere.
Okay.
I got to put my money somewhere, right? So it doesn't make any sense if I just sell it because the money I make, I'm going to be paying a lot of taxes. So
Right.
I'm just going to probably just take this money and park it somewhere.
Okay.
And I figure by the time I'm done, let's just say if I put down $300 on this deal, I'll probably make about $8,000 a month, which is not that bad.
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
So the money's good. Now there was another property that I just sold. I didn't do a 1031 exchange. The problem with the 1031 exchange, you got to identify a property within a certain amount of days. Then you also have to close within a certain amount of days. So that puts a lot of pressure on that buyer.
Right.
So that's the reason why I don't like it, which is I think it's like the stupidest thing. But I took a loss on this one as far as I'm going to have to pay the taxes. But it still made sense for me to pay the taxes because the amount of money that I made on this deal, I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'll just pay the taxes. So that way I could just take my time
Right.
and find the property. I mean, it's a still win for me anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? Let's see here. Somebody has a question. Guzman, he says this. I'm looking at a Beezer home, ready move in Henderson. Is it better than a new construction? So I guess he's saying that, hey, I'm buying a resale home versus a brand new home. What's better? New?
Again, it just depends on what your goals are. Like I've always bought in resale. I've never personally bought new, not that I wouldn't. Now here's the question. It's not a standing inventory, his question? Or is it?
No, it's just basically I'm looking at a Beezer home move-in ready. I guess it is a standing inventory in Henderson, or is it better than new construction? Now, I think the way I want to answer this question is if you're thinking about buying a brand new versus a resale. Now, on a resale, all the kinks are worked out. On a brand new home, believe it or not, every home inspection I have, you have more problems on a brand new home
Right.
than a resale.
Yeah.
And people are not aware of this, and they're like, I'm not doing a home inspection report because it's a brand new home.
Yep.
After we do a home inspection, they're like, oh, shit, I didn't know this is all wrong. Like, yeah, remember, you have a bunch of trades. They don't work for the builder. They just sign a contract. They're just putting your home together. That's all it is. Everything's all piecework. So when you start paying people based upon piecework, they're just slapping this shit together.
Damn right they are.
This is the reason why you need to have the right real estate agent.
I always tell people, I got clients, new house, new build. We don't need an inspection. I don't want an inspection. Okay. And I'm not trying to push that because then they think you're pushing your inspector. I'm like, okay, no problem. Send them the inspection report after I pay for the inspection.
Yeah.
What's this? This is the inspection report. This is what's wrong with your house.
Yeah.
Brand new house. Same thing. Oh, you got an inspection? Well, of course I did. I'm not letting you buy this house unless you get an inspection.
Yeah.
You're getting one. So this is everything that's wrong with it. It will be fixed before you move in. Don't worry.
How much are home inspection reports have you seen?
Depends on the size of the house, but I mean, you're starting probably, I would say around, it used to be around 175, 200. Now we're probably with inflation. Everybody raised their prices. So around 300,000 or $300 for like about 1,200 square foot house. Right around there.
Now, if somebody wants to get started in purchasing a home with you, what's that process like? Like, what are the steps?
I don't do business over the phone. You know, I'll talk to you over the phone the first time, but when you call me, I'm going to say, hey, when can you meet up at my office? Because I don't like to I want to meet you. I want to see who I'm dealing with. I want to talk to you. I want you to know, hey, this is who I am. This is my office. I'm sure you do the same thing.
Yeah.
Let's sit down and let's talk. And let's talk for 20 minutes, half hour first about you. So I can get to know you. And then once we get to know you, then we figure out what kind of home you want.
Okay. And what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Text, call, my phone.
Okay. So I just want to say, John, thanks for taking your time to come on out here. I do appreciate it. I can't believe you actually got a lead right away. That's crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a link in the description below.
Okay.
We'll have York get your website.
All right.
Social media, okay, accounts as well, so that way people can follow you.
All right.
And your telephone number. So guys, if you guys want that information, I will have it in the link in the description below. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And until next time, next week, Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, show the love and support on our second channel too as well. We just hit over 1 million views in the last 30 days on the second channel. That thing is hot. So if you guys just love real estate, want to get into real estate life, just vlogs and stuff like that, yes, it's all about me. Just go ahead and check it out. That's right. All right, guys, until next time, peace.